All right, let's dive into something that we all just take for granted, an idea that's so fundamental to how we live our lives, ownership. But today, we're going to pull back the curtain on what it really means. So let me just ask you this, straight up. What if that house you live in, that car you drive to work, or even the money you've saved up in the bank isn't actually yours? I know, it's a pretty wild thought, right? But stick with me, because understanding this is the key to seeing how our financial world really operates. First, let's look at what we think we mean when we say we own something.
You know, we all have this simple, almost gut feeling about what it means to own something. It feels concrete, it feels permanent. So let's start by just putting a clear definition on that feeling.
This is the textbook definition, right? This is what we're all taught. If you buy it, it's yours. You can use it, you can abuse it, you can sell it. Simple. But, and this is a big but, as we're about to see, this simple definition is really more of a comforting story than it is a hard reality.
Okay, so let's bring this down to earth. Let's talk about the biggest, most expensive things we buy in our lives, because this is where the cracks in that idea of ownership really start to show.
Let's start with the big one, your home. It feels like your castle, your domain. But if you have a mortgage, who's really calling the shots? The truth is, until you make that very last payment, your house is an asset on the bank's balance sheet. You have the right to live there, absolutely, but they hold the ultimate legal claim. And if you miss enough payments, you find out real quick who has the final say.
And it's the exact same story with your car. The vehicle you rely on every single day, well, if there's a loan attached to it, it's not just your ride, it's the lender's collateral. It's basically their insurance policy on the loan they gave you. And hidden away in that contract, it gives them the right to just come and take it back if you don't keep up your end of the bargain. You might have the keys, but they've got the power.
Now, this one might really surprise you. What about the cash in your savings account? I mean, that's gotta be yours, right? It's the safest thing you've got. Well, not exactly. That money isn't just sitting in a little box with your name on it. When you deposit money into a bank, you're essentially giving them an interest-free loan. Your savings account is a liability on their books, a debt they owe back to you. They then take your money and use it to invest and make more money. You have the promise of access, but you definitely don't have physical ownership.
So, look, none of this happens by accident. It's the system. Our entire financial world is built on this huge, complex web of banks, government regulations, and of course, the legal contracts we all sign. These institutions and all that fine print, they're the ones that set the real rules of ownership. And spoiler alert, they almost always give control to the lender, not the borrower.
Okay, now, if physical ownership is already this complicated, just wait till we get to the digital world. Because here, in the land of ones and zeros, the whole concept of owning something gets, well, it gets really, really strange. Think about all the digital stuff you've paid for over the years. Your entire ebook library, all those movies and shows you bought on a streaming service, your massive playlists, that huge video game library you've spent hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars on. You paid real money for it all, but do you own it? What about that social media profile you've poured years of your life into building?
And here it is. This is the truth, buried deep in those terms of service agreements that, let's be honest, nobody ever reads. You see language exactly like this. You're not buying a product, you are buying a license that allows you to access the content. And that license can be limited, changed, or just straight up revoked whenever the company feels like it. They control the platform, so they control everything you think you own on it.
So this brings us to the absolute core idea here. We've been so focused on the idea of ownership that we've completely missed what's actually way more powerful: control. This is the mental shift that changes the entire game. Just look at this breakdown. Traditional ownership can often be a liability, a burden. It can tie you down. Control, on the other hand, well, that's about leverage. It's about access and flexibility. It's having the ability to use an asset without being weighed down by all the responsibilities that come with actually owning it. And here is the absolute key takeaway. The most financially savvy people and institutions, they understand this difference perfectly. They don't obsess over owning everything outright. Instead, they focus on controlling assets, leveraging debt, and securing access to resources. That's how real wealth is so often built and maintained, by playing the game of control, not just the game of ownership.
Now, I know that hearing all of this might feel a little unsettling. It can feel like you have no real security, like the rug's been pulled out from under you. But the point of this is not to create fear. The point is to create awareness. Understanding how this system really works doesn't mean you should just opt out, not at all. It means you can navigate it way more intelligently. By knowing the real rules of the game, you can make smarter decisions with your money, with the contracts you sign, with all of your assets. It's about being an aware participant, not a passive one. This knowledge, that is your real power.
So I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. In a world of mortgages, licenses, and liabilities, what do you truly, unconditionally own? Maybe it's not the stuff you've bought, but something else entirely. Your skills, your knowledge, your relationships. It's a question that's definitely worth thinking about. Thanks for tuning in.